Hey guys, welcome back. I'm actually really excited for today's video because this will be your guide into romance books, and this is if you are trying to get into romance or are a beginner reader. So I'm gonna break this up into two parts because there's so many books and I don't want to overwhelm you on this first one. So I'm going to start off with my favorite authors of all time. I love their writing. I recommend it as soon as I hear someone wants to get into reading or wants to read a good feel-good book or even wants to cry a little bit. So I'm really excited and I hope you guys stick around and make it to the next video. And if you have already read these books, comment down below about how much you love them so that they can get into it too, okay? One of the key things that I recommend is seeing what you like to watch on the TV. So if you like specific type of romance movies, I would recommend kind of seeing which ones match it in books. So for example, I'm a huge Nicholas Sparks fan. So that kind of showed me that I do like a little bit of trauma involved into the romance. I'm kind of like a hero and a save me moment, and just beautiful love stories. So which brings me to my very first author. That would be Miss Emily Henry. Now if you don't know about Miss Emily Henry, she is a romance literature or women's literature, women's fiction writer, and she writes these incredible love stories that I just think stayed in my head forever and ever and ever. And every time she comes out with a book, I automatically purchase it because just the way that she makes me feel and how she writes these stories is just unbelievable. And I'm really excited because I got my best friend into it. I knew she was gonna love it. And so when she was sending me these messages throughout her reading journey, it was just amazing. It just felt so good that she felt the same way. This is a completely different reader than me. I'm a romance girl. She's more of a historical fiction. For her to dabble into mine and see what I see in these books is just, it means the world. So the thing with Emily Henry is that they are all standalones. So you don't necessarily have to start with one or the other. These are individuals with whichever one you want. Personally, I would have to say that a lot of the fan favorites that I've noticed is Happy Place. And this is exactly the one that I kind of drew to my best friend too. I was like, okay, I think you're gonna really enjoy this. This is about a group of college friends who stayed friends after college, and you know, now it's like them in the adult world, and then there's obviously romance in it and stuff like that. But I thought that the key winner was, you know, her and her sorority girls now living adult lives and stuff like that. So I felt like she could connect to this one the most, and she absolutely loved it. So this one's a lot of people's fan favorite when it comes to Emily Henry. This one is my personal favorite, and I'm sure you've heard about it. If you haven't, the movie is coming out soon. I'm super excited. The guy that's playing Alex is exactly how I imagined him, so I'm just really excited to see how this turns out. People We Meet on Vacation is about two best friends, and they're traveling around together, and it's really cool because they are now seeing what it is to be in the adult world and how each one kind of lives a different life, but somehow they want to stay together. They want to continue being best friends, but it's just not working in their favor. The thing about it too, though, is, fair warning on this one, is that it's a lot of bouncing back and forth in time. So I don't know if you get a little bit confused with that. I did a little bit, but then I think the story was just so intriguing that it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Ended up loving this book so much. It's still in my heart forever. One of hers that kind of gave me the same vibe and is also neck and neck with that one is Funny Story. Funny Story is about two people who it's super confusing, so try to stay along. Her ex-fiance and his ex-fiance were best friends, right? But apparently they've always had a thing for each other, and out of nowhere they decided, okay, you know what, right when they were about to get married, they were like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna leave our partners and we're gonna be together forever and ever. So that's what they ended up doing. And they were stuck living together because she lived with the guy he lived with the girl, and since they all went their merry separate ways, she was left with nothing. So she ended up having to move in with him. Now, the thing with them is they are going through a breakup together, and there is a little bit of miscommunication, but it's kind of, you know, when you're scared and you're traumatized after your ex just did what they did, of course you're gonna be a little like weary about romance and about how you actually feel about a person, but just him as a male character, amazing. Her as a female main character, hot mess express, I'm obsessed with it. This was actually neck and neck with People We Meet on Vacation. So I would recommend starting with either two, but that's just me. This was her most recent release. I think it came out back in April, and I'm really, really excited. I'm waiting for my best friend to finish Book Lovers so we can go ahead and read this together. I cannot wait. I'm hearing so much good things about it that I'm ready to dive in, but I'm being patient for my girl. The next author is another romance one. Gives the same exact vibes as Emily Henry, which I wish I would have gotten into her sooner. I barely started getting into her literally a month ago. Read one of her books because I was influenced, duh. And then all of a sudden I find myself purchasing the rest of hers, and now I am literally on the last one of her books, and wow, like I'm actually very, very obsessed. So that's why I'm throwing her in the mix right now, because don't be like me and wait forever to get into her. That is Miss Abby Jimenez. This was the first book that I read because it had just came out back in April 1st, I believe. And I saw everybody being super excited about it over on Booksta, and I was like having serious FOMO. So I was like, hold up, like I want to know what the hype is about. I've heard that her writing is really beautiful, and I've actually purchased this one here back last summer when I went to the beach. I purchased it at the bookstore in LA, and then I went to the beach right after and tried to read a couple chapters, but then obviously got distracted. But I really liked the intro on this one, so I can definitely see it. So when I saw everybody posting about this one, I went ahead and grabbed it and started reading it. Obsessed. I loved, loved, loved. I love that there's a Latina main character. I'm all about that. And so right away, I asked everybody on Booksta to put me on. Now that I finished that one, what series am I supposed to do? What order am I supposed to do? And they recommended this. Start off with Part of Your World. That's the very first book. Then immediately you go into Yours Truly, which again, another Latina female main character. And then this is the last one, Just for the Summer. So I'm on the last one right now, and I'm really, really excited. I enjoyed these two so much. I was obsessed with this one. And I should have known better, because right at the front, that's Miss Emily Henry giving her praise. Just the fact that it's Emily Henry giving her praise, and just now is when I'm getting into her, is ridiculous. Literally love that it's just Emily Henry on every single one of them, because she is my queen. So yeah, I started off with Say You'll Remember Me, and this is the perfect summer vibes book. If you want to start off with one, this one's still a standalone. I think this one is going to be a series, but for now, this is the very first one. So if you are trying to get into it and trying to get that little summer romance feel, this one's definitely the way to go. Miss Ali Hazelwood. These are just a few books that I have of hers, but even then, I stand by them. I actually do have one of her thriller ones that's called Bride, but I haven't read it, so I don't want to throw it in here because I haven't. Why would I recommend something I haven't read? This one is the very first one that I read, and I think I read this one 2 years ago, I want to say, and I fell in love. Women in STEM. Women in STEM. So apparently, like, that is her theme. She likes to go with women in STEM. I started off with this one, didn't touch any of her books for a while, and then all of a sudden my sister-in-law was like, you need to read this one is so beautiful, blah blah blah. And I was like, I'll get into it. There's other ones that I was super excited about, and once I start a series, I kind of want to finish it, so it's really hard for me to add another one just randomly into the pile. But she was like, read this one. And me being stubborn, I didn't read this one first. I ended up reading this one first. And this one just kind of spoke to me also because of the cover. I think I read this one back in February, and I wanted to read it because it was like pink and February vibes. And read it, instantly loved, immediately loved. So right away, naturally, I went ahead and read Love Theoretically. So all three of these, I recommend, absolutely. I will say though, these are a bit spicy, so if you're not into that, that's okay. But if you don't mind it, this one's the way to go. So now this is for the girls who love spice and need it in their romance. That's okay, I got you on that too. I'm somebody who will read anything as long as it has romance and a good story. Miss Elsie Silver is one of my favorite auto-buy authors, I kid you not. Now I will say this one is very, very spicy, so at your own risk, but this one follows a group of brothers who own a ranch over in Canada. This one here is a, what's it called, a bull rider. So that was actually a really fun experience, really fun to learn into that and to see that world and stuff. And then this is just each of their brothers or best friends stories along with the girls. The characters in this story are so relatable and so hilarious. I love, love, love their characters. I don't think there's one that I wish wasn't in the series. Right when we get to meet them, you instantly love them. It's crazy. And the best part is, once you're done with this series, you can continue it on with the Rose Hill series, and this is a continuation from that one. She also has another series that all kind of line up. They're all in the same world, but this is the Gold Rush series. I think this one follows along the brother's sister who lives away from them. So I think this is her side of the world. And then this is one of the fan favorite female main characters' brother's world. So it's really cool how interconnected they all are and how this world she brings is just one you want to live on. So, you know, if you're ready, summertime is literally the best time to start this one. That's my opinion, because it just gives all the heat vibes, like all the summer vibes. And then obviously the romance in there is very hot. So at your own risk once again. And I will stop the video right there. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with all the books because I can go on and on and on and recommend. But those are just some of the kind of intro books that I recommend to people who are starting off or would like to get into romance. These are kind of some of the books that just instantly hook you. It's an insta hook for those, and the tropes in there are a variety of them. So from that you can start picking and choosing what's your favorite trope, what's your most dislike trope, and kind of navigate from there. For the next video, we'll go ahead and get into Sporty Spice, which is all this shelf right here behind me. The top row is men with money. So that is an interesting trope on its own. And eventually we'll go ahead and get into the romantasy side, which I think is the most romantic of all. Their wording is just, ugh, where can I find a man like that? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have read any of these books, let everybody know how much you love them. If you guys don't follow me on Booksta, I will link it down below. I'll also add my handle here for a quick search where we can chat all things books. I post all bookish and girly activities there. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.